Welcome to the motherfucking lady. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Nick Ball versus Brandon Figueroa. Let's talk about the fight. An evenly fought and entertaining contest throughout. Nick Ball was doing mostly well before he got stopped. Was mostly proving the more effective pressure fighter of the two. Brandon being a pressure guy, Nick being a pressure guy, up until the point that Brandon connects with that left hook.
Nick was doing all right. I had him ahead going into the 12th.
So close to the finish, that's gotta sting. What was winning Nick Ball this fight? Countering and cutting angles. He'd go for a shot, step out of the way, as to not be right in front of Brandon for the return fire.
For Brandon's counter.
When Brandon Figueroa would lead the dance and let go of combinations, Nick was countering well in between, landing many jabs. And because Brandon's got that mop top, every time a jab lands, his hair starts flopping around, making it very obvious that he's taking punishment, he's taking punches. But that did not discourage him. He kept fighting with a sense of urgency, kept pressing forward, sensing that he may be behind on the cards and he's on foreign soil, so he can't coast.
Not in Liverpool.
Not on a Queensbury Promotions show. He needed a knockout, and he found one. Just as Nick Ball was letting go of a left hand up top, Brandon Figueroa counters with a left hook around the side, sending Nick Ball to the canvas. He face plants. He goes down hard. And I'm not sure if it will be confirmed by the time that this video is uploaded, but I think that Brandon broke Nick's jaw with that punch, because watching Nick make his way back to the locker room after the fight, you could see the right side of his face was badly swollen.
Might have been broken.
So Brandon gets in with that hard counter left hook that sends Nick to the canvas. He rises to his feet, trying to gather himself. Brandon jumps on him, knocks him through the ropes. And that was all she wrote. I went with Nick Ball to win the fight, sensing that something might go wrong here. I said it on a number of occasions in the build-up that because Brandon's a pressure guy and so is Nick, in the exchange, anything could happen. Not dissimilar from what we saw at 122 when Brandon fought former champion Luis Nery. In the exchange, he connected with a hard body shot.
Knocked him out.
Fast forward a couple of fights, in a couple of years, he moves up to feather, connects with a hard left hook up top, knocks Nick out. His resume is really coming along. Brandon has been a two-weight, three-time world champion. Having collected the scalps of two reigning world champions and WBC champion Luis Nery, and now WBA champion Nick Ball, who's got to go back to the drawing board.
Where'd it go wrong?
He just got caught. That's how you can surmise it. In the exchange, the other guy has just as much a chance of landing as you do, and in this instance, Brandon landed on Nick in a fight that Nick was winning, in a fight where he was doing all right, boxing well.
Till he got caught.
Do we get a rematch? I think we might, because Nick Ball was fast becoming the money man of this division. More than WBO champion Rafael Espinoza, more than newly crowned WBC champion Bruce Carrington, or Angelo Leo, who's got the IBF, Nick Ball was fast becoming the money man at this weight.
Brandon is not at liberty to take that newly obtained WBA title back to PBC Island and hold it hostage, because the PBC have no resources, barely any fight dates,
barely any money, and barely any bodies to keep Brandon busy with. That it's not as easy to hold the title hostage these days on PBC Island. To make money, he's got to leave the island, and it's for that reason I think there might be a Nick Ball versus Brandon Figueroa rematch. It's either that, or Brandon has to fight hard-punching Argentine Mirko Cuello, unbeaten in 16 professional bouts with 13 knockouts. He is the WBA's interim champion.
Winning a title is not all it's cracked up to be. It only gets harder from here. So when you think about the other champions at the weight, and how fighting them at market value doesn't pay out all that much, fighting Mirko Cuello, who's even less known than they are, that doesn't pay out that much either. Fighting Nick Ball again might seem an attractive option.
Haven't heard anything yet, but I wonder that Nick didn't have a rematch clause going in. That would have been the smart thing to do, fighting somebody like Brandon.
Things go sideways, you get a second crack at the apple.
That was an impressive knockout from Brandon, though I'd be lying to you if I said that I were impressed with him overall. He didn't really do anything spectacular or look spectacular throughout the course of the fight, aside from being persistent, as pressure fighters often are. In the back end of the fight, sensing that the victory was slipping away, you saw Brandon dial it up a notch, stepping into his punches more, stringing together more combinations, being aggressive, being persistent. And it worked.
Wasn't finesse. All of that was coming from Nick, who I had up by at least 2 rounds. Going into the 12th, I thought he had the fight won. Theater of the unexpected, that's what they say. And so now, Brandon Figueroa is once again a featherweight world champion, and as stated, he's got some options, some better than others, and some that pay better than others, enough that maybe we get a rematch between Nick and Brandon. We'll see.
Was calling you out about your old stablemate here in Texas. I saw you guys go at it many times. What did you think about that?
I mean, Canelo gone, Terrence gone, so, who else is going to get a big payday from? So I think that's the only reason he called me out, because everybody know how to spar and win. His coach Jerry James know how to spar and win. Everybody who was in the gym know how to spar and win. So, hey, man, he wants some money.
It's the obvious answer. Why does a prize fighter do anything? For the prizes. So if Charlo is now calling out Errol Spence Jr., his old drinking buddy, it's for a prize. He figures he can get a big one. If they fight, Errol Spence Jr. would have become an attractive option for Charlo over time. But is the same true in reverse? Not really. Errol can get more money fighting someone else so long as he can rebuild himself. There have been rumors circulating that he may face Tim Kazoo, that there is some interest in Australia to do that fight.
It's been 2 going on 3 years since Errol Spence Jr.'s knockout loss to Terrence Crawford. And in more recent months, we've been seeing Errol Spence Jr. do the rounds at certain boxing gyms. I heard he spent a bit of time up in Philly with Stephen Breadman Edwards. More recently, he was visiting Buddy McGirt.
I like Buddy for Errol.
The first real semblance of Errol mounting a comeback is the pursuit of a new trainer, because he separated from career-long trainer Derek James shortly after the Crawford fight due to some money that he owed him. So if 2 close to 3 years later, he's now doing the rounds at several boxing gyms around the country, it must be because he means to come back, and I didn't think he was going to.
I didn't.
He's in his mid-30s now. Though Errol Spence Jr. did not make so much from his pay-per-view appearances that he was sitting on a gold mine, sitting on a whole heap of money.
His best-selling pay-per-view was the one with Terrence Crawford. That's the one that sold the most, but the others, they hovered at or around the high end of 200,000.
Or just north of 3.
Really wasn't that much, and there really weren't that many. The Mikey Garcia fight, the Danny Garcia fight, the Sean Porter fight, the Ugas fight.
Those fights didn't sell that much.
And what is Al Heyman's reputation for keeping a portion of the fighters' money and paying them in increments? You have to wonder, how much of his own money did Errol walk away with?
Are you saying that he needs to keep fighting?
He might have to. Does he keep fighting under the PBC banner when things at the PBC are not as they used to be? There is value in Errol Spence Jr.'s ring return, even if he does not seem all that interested in fighting his old drinking buddy, Charlo. If he can fight Tim Kazoo, win, and show that to some extent he's still got it, he can then parlay that victory into a deal with a different promotional outfit that is perhaps on more stable ground than the PBC is, say Matchroom or Zuffa, who I think would love to have him. If they're willing to sign fighters like Rayo Valenzuela and Sergey Boachuk, I think they'd pay handsomely to bring in Errol Spence Jr. to their platform.
He'd be coming back as a junior middle, I assume.
And if he does, every junior middleweight with a title would then descend upon him on the premise that at this point, Spence is a low-hanging fruit. He's not what he once was.
You see what Charlo's doing. He's calling him out.
Oscar De La Hoya has been calling him out for, 2-3 years now for a fight against Virgil Ortiz? If Errol Spence Jr. comes back, he's arguably more popular than anybody at the weight right now, champions included. So they'd all go after him. It's hard to say if Errol can win a belt from anyone that has one at junior middleweight right now, not knowing what, if anything, Errol Spence Jr. has to give the sport of boxing if he's back. I don't really get the sense it's for belts so much as for money, and getting at the money might involve getting at a belt.
Yeah, it might, but it's more about getting at the money.
And there is money out there for Errol Spence Jr. to make. Now, he can take his chances on the antiquated pay-per-view model that isn't yielding the returns it once used to. With piracy being at an all-time high, it's very easy to watch a box office fight these days without paying for it. For Errol, who's likely only coming back for the money, can you really rely on the upside of a pay-per-view? There may not even be one. For your troubles, all you might get is your guarantee, if the PBC even has any money to guarantee you.
Floyd Mayweather's lawsuit involving famed manager Al Heyman. You wonder, what does that do to the perception of Al to the fighters that have fought under him?
Fighters like Errol, do they want to keep fighting under Al Heyman's PBC? Do they still want to be in that situation? Or is he at liberty to go somewhere else? Because I think he should. Errol going to a matchroom or a Zuffa would create such a stir that his career would gain momentum for that alone.
Just some things to consider. It looks like he's coming back. It's just the question of when.
Steven, shifting over to maybe some bad news for you. I don't know, but we got to talk about it. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Got to ask you. Trying to get money, a whopping $340 million. He's suing you supposedly. Have you gotten the paperwork for that? What's the latest on that?
I have not seen the paperwork. And I've been in touch with attorneys. Obviously, I've seen the reports. I've seen the descriptions. And as usual, the attorneys don't want me out there publicly saying it. So I can't talk about the specifics of that. But look, I just say as a general statement, my reputation. I've spent my entire career representing fighters, making sure they were getting paid appropriately. I did that for Oscar. I did that for Mike. I've done that for every fighter who's developed under Showtime. And I'm proud of my reputation. I think it's one of integrity. And I've never done anything to make sure that a fighter got less out of, every penny that he deserved. So, lawsuit will take care of it itself. I can't really address it. But I think you guys know my reputation. I stand by that.
I was going to say, you guys worked together for such a long time. I'm guessing there was like a relationship there, maybe a friendship. Are you a little disappointed about it?
I'm definitely disappointed and surprised. I haven't talked to him about it. I'm not sure exactly where it's coming from, but it's a mystery in a lot of ways.
Called it a mystery. What I noticed about Stephan Espinoza addressing the recent lawsuit filed against him by Floyd Mayweather is that Stephan didn't seem at all rattled by it. Didn't seem bothered. He looked pretty relaxed.
Like he knows it won't amount to anything. He knows it's bullshit, so he's not worried, because he didn't look worried. He's got a background in law, Stephan Espinoza, so if Floyd Mayweather had anything he could use against Stephan would know about it. Stephan's got those insights, and when asked about it, he laughed.
Like he knows this isn't going to go anywhere. It's a frivolous lawsuit that doesn't hold any water, and Floyd Mayweather, likely backed into a corner by mounting debt, he's scrounging through the proverbial couch cushions for whatever money he can find. The lawsuit alleges that Stephan Espinoza, with the help of Al Heyman, stole millions upon millions of dollars from Floyd, something to the tune of $340 million.
Now listen, maybe he did. Knowing the legalese in a way that a Floyd Mayweather Jr. does not, maybe he's confident that Floyd's got nothing on him, or maybe it wasn't even Stephan. Maybe it was Al Heyman acting alone.
And that's why Stephan isn't worried about whatever happened. It doesn't involve him. This comes to us at a time where not that long ago, Business Insider talked about Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s mounting debts that have since grown.
He owes more people money.
New York City condo owners claim Floyd Mayweather owes more than $330,000 in unpaid rent. The gloves are off for Floyd Mayweather's former landlords. The boxing legend is being sued for breach of contract by the owners of his former Baccarat Hotel and Residences rental. A company tied to the unit claims Mayweather owes more than $330,000 in unpaid rent and other damages. The allegations were laid out in a New York State court filing this month, The Real Deal reported. The pad is owned by Miami-based entrepreneurs Layla and David Sentner, the outlet reported. Mayweather rented their luxury duplex in the Midtown Tower in 2024. He allegedly stopped paying his $100,000 per month rent in the middle of this year. Mayweather's home along 53rd Street spans the tower's 18th and 19th floors. It includes 5 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms. The lawsuit claims the undefeated fighter began to fall behind on his 6-figure rent in July and racked up more than $515,000 total in back rent and other damages. Mayweather agreed to a settlement to clear the debt by early December, according to the lawsuit, but allegedly failed to make the full repayment in time. Fast forward just a few weeks, and he's suing former Showtime sports president Stephen Espinoza. Showtime,
For $340 million he said they stole from him. It sounds to me like this guy's drowning in debt, and he's looking for money wherever he can find it. Which is what we talked about weeks ago, based on that Business Insider article. That's what all the signs show.
yeah, people told me for talking about it, oh, I must be hating on Floyd.
It's always the same shit from the same fucking people, the same dumb dullards who can't see the forest through the trees. For somebody who's made as much money as Floyd is reported to have made, there's no real reason, no good reason, for him to be in the hole with this many people, unless, behind the scenes, something is wrong. And by all accounts, it would appear something definitely is.
Mayweather only paid one of the 5 months of rent, according to Pulse International's realty, Rena Cleot. Mayweather now allegedly owes a sum of $337,736, the suit claims, together with interest, fees, costs, and attorney's fees. Now, one would think, for somebody who claims to make $300 million a month, this debt would have been a drop in the bucket. It would have been easy to clear.
Except it wasn't.
Now, why is it a story? Why are we talking about it? Because Floyd Mayweather was the highest earning boxer in the history of boxing. He's the fighter that made the most. So how could that same fighter now fall on hard times when he's amassed a reputation as a savvy businessman with all of his smart investments? The couple now plans to relist that property this spring with Cleot. The vacant unit is in the process of being restaged. Cleot, the Post, including its 4,000 square foot wraparound balcony. Mayweather finally vacated the property in December, according to Cleot. The unit will likely be priced to sell between $22 and $24 million, or offered as a rental at around $150,000 per month. The news follows work reported by Business Insider that introduced doubt over Floyd Mayweather's financial claims, identifying foreclosures on commercial properties owned by Mayweather and other lawsuits in which he failed to make millions in payment on Lux goods. Mayweather has taken his more than $1 billion in career winnings into the real estate world in recent years, including launching a real estate firm in 2024 and purchasing a minority interest in a New York City-based portfolio last year for $402 million. Plaintiff's lawyer, Mark Skolnick of Skolnick Law, declined to comment further on the filing. Representatives for Mayweather did not respond to the Post's requests for comment.
So it would seem that Floyd Mayweather's business acumen has been greatly exaggerated over the years, as his history of spending tells the story of someone with little to no financial literacy.
A man with the impulse control of a small child, approximately 10 or so years after his official retirement from the sport of boxing. His bad spending habits have now caught up to him. And that's what happens when you're burning through cash at a greater rate than you're bringing it in.
Money Mayweather. What is Floyd Mayweather without the money?
In deep shit. That's what he is.